Hello, it's Warren Murray picking the eyes out of it for you today. John Bercow, the Speaker of the House of Commons, has stood by his opposition to Donald Trump giving an address in Parliament. An address to both houses of Parliament is not an automatic right, it is an earned honor, Bercow said at an event last night. My view is that he has not earned that honor. Speaking of Westminster, Theresa May is facing calls from business in the UK and Europe to urgently strike a Brexit transition agreement with the EU. Leaders of the CBI and continental bodies will meet the PM at Downing Street on Monday to warn that if she waits much longer, companies will have to plan for the worst-case scenario. May is facing calls from some leading Conservatives for a bold reshuffle of her cabinet after the resignations of Priti Patel and Michael Fallon. Our politics desk has calculated that Patel's abortive trip to Nairobi at the climax of the Israel affair wasted about £8,000 of taxpayers' money. Trump's pilgrimage. Donald Trump never ends a day without a serving of controversy, and it was no different in South Korea, where at a state banquet the president was fed shrimp from waters off an island claimed by Japan. The inclusion of a wartime sex slave as a dinner guest also rankled with Tokyo. It was smooth sailing in China, though, where President Xi Jinping was naturally pleased. After all, the leader of the world's #1 power has just made a pilgrimage to him, said Chen Daoyan, a Shanghai-based political scientist. Trump has now arrived in Vietnam for the regional APEC summit. All eyes will be on any interaction with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. Radioactive leak. A nuclear accident somewhere in Russia or neighboring Kazakhstan has sent a cloud of radiation over Europe, according to monitoring bodies. The level of ruthenium-106 pollution is not considered a risk to human health or the environment, says Francis IRSN. But the accident itself would have been bad enough for people around the site to be evacuated. The most plausible source lies between the Ural Mountains and the Volga River. Ruthenium-106 can only be produced in nuclear reactors. The leak is thought to have come from a nuclear fuel treatment site or center for radioactive medicine. Lebanon standoff. Saudi Arabia has ordered its citizens to leave Lebanon as pressure mounts in the region over Hezbollah's influence on the country's affairs. Donald Trump and Israel have supported fiery rhetoric from the Saudis accusing Iran, which backs Hezbollah, of forging strongholds across the region. Lebanon's Prime Minister, Saad Hariri, resigned last week at the Saudis' behest, accusing Hezbollah of dominating life in Lebanon and subverting its politics. Outing touts. The Competition and Markets Authority has raided the ticket resellers StubHub and Viagogo as part of an investigation of industrial-scale touting. The CMA is understood to have issued an information notice to 4 ticket resale companies, also including Getmain and Seatwave, demanding details of any relationships with major touts and turnover from ticket sales. Our continuing Paradise Papers investigation has revealed the Canadian tout Julian Lavalley, one of the world's biggest operators, used the Isle of Man to avoid paying UK taxes on hundreds of tickets for gigs including Adele, Ed Sheeran and Metallica. Not answering questions. The comedian Louis C.K. has refused to comment after being accused of sexual misconduct by 5 women. HBO has dropped the comedian's shows from its on-demand service while the premiere of his new movie was scrapped, and he cancelled an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. The Israeli intelligence firm Black Cube has apologized for working with Harvey Weinstein to gather information on the women accusing him of sexual harassment and rape. It's a shame we took the job, Asher Tischler, a member of Black Cube's advisory board, told Israeli TV. Lunchtime. Read Taylor Swift's talent for personal drama. Alexis Petridis awards Taylor Swift 4 out of 5 stars for her new album, Reputation. Our reviewer deals first with the sleeve notes, where Swift mocks the inevitable speculation concerning who she's singing about this time. Gossip blogs will scour the lyrics for the men they can attribute to each song, she writes. Petridis says she has a very good point about the wearying way work by female singer-songwriters is invariably interpreted as autobiographical. However, it is hard to think of another pop star who's proved so brilliant at manipulating the media through their music. Cover art from Taylor Swift's new album, Reputation. Then there's the music. Swift cutting her last ties with her Nashville roots in favor of the Blair and honk of Edm-influenced pop. At their best, these songs have a fizzing, pugilistic energy, Petridis writes. At their least appealing, they're still decent pop songs, but they feel generic. Sport. Gareth Southgate's bold determination to promote youth will mean Tammy Abraham, Jordan Pickford and Ruben Loftus-Cheek making their senior debuts against Germany, and 3 under-21 forwards are likely to be drafted into the setup for next week's friendly with Brazil. Dare to dream is the slogan of Northern Ireland's World Cup campaign, but the manner of their 10 defeat to Switzerland in the playoff first leg will give their manager, Michael O'Neill, nightmares. Mo Farah is set to continue as a lottery-funded athlete when UK Athletics announces the names on its world-class performance programme this morning, dramatically increasing the chances he will run again in a British vest at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. And Eddie Jones has revealed that Owen Farrell and Maro Itoje were furious to learn they would sit out England's autumn international against Argentina on Saturday. Business markets in Asia were lower this morning as there was continued uncertainty over the possibility of tax reforms in the U.S. Japan's Nikkei was down 1.1%, albeit from a 21-year high. That followed losses on Wall Street. The pound was buying $1.31 and €1.13 overnight. The paper's Brexit dominates the papers today. In the Independent's digital edition, the British legal expert who wrote Article 50 tells Theresa May she is misleading the public by saying the EU exit cannot be stopped. Guardian front page, Friday the 10th of November 2017. The Express says EU membership is costing the UK £980 million a week and that's why we must get out fast. The Guardian splashes on British and European business leaders demanding a breakthrough from May on a Brexit transition deal. The Telegraph has made daring rebels to defy her on Brexit and vowing to set a date for the country's exit from the EU. The Mirror says what much of the county must be thinking with its headline on Boris Johnson now sack him. The Mail has a story about Cressida Dick saying young offenders should be locked up sooner and face harsher sentences to break the cycle of crime. The Times has an intriguing tale about David Cameron lobbying Beijing on behalf of a friend and former donor over a planned £500 million investment fund with which he might take a job. The Sun is reaching slightly with the headline Ready Salted. Gary about Gary Lineker avoiding tax by selling a home in Barbados through an offshore firm. The FT has its sights set on the UK offering a £2 billion credit line as it battles New York for the Saudi Aramco listing. Sign up if you would like to receive the Guardian morning briefing by email, bright and early every weekday. Sign up here.